he have to live with it for the rest of his life. You know, whether he was sincere with what he said in the courtroom or not, he has to live with it.
But he's gonna suffer, and he's still suffering. I just want him to know that he took a big part from me, from my whole family.
A mother's worst nightmare. The desperate phone call, the frantic search. Then, the discovery that would shatter everything. But what preceded this tragedy wasn't a simple crime of passion. Hidden within a young woman's cell phone were secret text messages, so explicit, so damning, they would expose an affair a powerful religious leader desperately wanted buried. Messages that read, "I'm trying to give you the best deke of your life, but you running from it." Messages that would cost 24-year-old Aniya Mack her life at the hands of her enraged ex-boyfriend. But here's where this story takes its most disturbing turn. The man who sent those messages was Reverend Strickland, a married pastor, a community leader, president of the Kalamazoo NAACP. And those text messages were just the beginning of a scandal that would expose far darker secrets. Aniya Mack was a 24-year-old psychology student at Western Michigan University, whose existence radiated promise. During high school in Kalamazoo, she'd been exceptional. Honor roll, student council, health occupations association, marching band, concert band, varsity cheerleading, volleyball, softball. Someone who threw herself completely into everything she touched. Her psychology pursuits stemmed from an authentic desire to help those who needed it most. 3 months before her death, she started working at the Great Lakes Alternative Research Center, assisting children with autism. This role represented the intersection of her studies and passion. Friends described the genuine excitement that radiated from her discussing the children's progress. She sang in the choir at Second Baptist Church in Kalamazoo, where Reverend Strickland preached. Friends called her a social butterfly who maintained constant contact through phone and social media. She shared an off-campus apartment at Hunter Ridge Apartments with her roommate, living the college experience, balancing studies, work, and friendships. But storm clouds had been gathering. Aniya's relationship with 25-year-old Donnovan Lewis, a former basketball player at Kalamazoo Valley Community College, had been volatile. Their relationship bore scars of previous violence that should have served as red flags. Moments when Lewis demonstrated a capacity for brutality Aniya had rationalized or forgiven. He'd thrown water on her during arguments. He'd trapped her arm in a car window. These weren't isolated incidents. These were calculated acts of control and intimidation, warning signs written in bold letters. Despite these patterns, Aniya focused forward, channeling energy into her education and career aspirations. She had dreams extending far beyond the tumultuous relationship. But on June 24, 2018, everything Aniya had built, it all came to a brutal end. The last time anyone saw Aniya alive was that Sunday. Her roommate had left for graduation the previous Saturday. By Thursday, June 28th, something was undeniably wrong. Aniya had gone silent. For someone who maintained constant communication, this silence was deafening. A friend named LaQuenta Watson made the official missing person report to the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety. When police arrived at Aniya's apartment that morning, they found the door unlocked. Inside, men's clothing and bathroom rugs churned in the washing machine, clear indicators someone had recently been there, perhaps sanitizing a crime scene. Given the couple's documented history, investigators immediately focused on Donnovan Lewis. As officers processed the apartment, Lewis approached them at the scene. He placed his hands behind his back voluntarily and uttered words that would seal his fate. "Just take me in, man. We'll talk about it on the way." During the ride to headquarters, Lewis began unburdening himself. What he revealed wasn't just a confession to murder. It was an exposé of a secret affair that would rock Kalamazoo's religious community. Lewis described discovering explicit text messages on Aniya's phone from Reverend Strickland, messages dated June 16th that left nothing to the imagination. The message Lewis specifically referenced, "I'm trying to give you the best deke of your life, but you running from it," represented one example of sexually explicit communications between the married pastor and young choir member. But Lewis's confession revealed deeper complexity. He claimed Aniya told him she was blackmailing Reverend Strickland, that their relationship had become transactional and dangerous. According to Lewis, Aniya had been on an all-expenses-paid trip to Mississippi with the Reverend, a journey that precipitated threats from Strickland when their relationship threatened to become public. In Lewis's telling, Aniya found herself caught in between involvement with this powerful man and the danger that knowledge represented. What Donnovan Lewis confessed to wasn't just murder. It was a crime so calculated, so brutal, that it revealed the depth of rage consuming him. Lewis admitted the explicit text messages from Reverend Strickland sent him into a spiral. The jealousy, the perceived humiliation, the fury at what he saw as ultimate betrayal, all building to a devastating crescendo. Lewis revealed something chilling. Once he learned about Aniya's relationship with the Reverend, he'd been experiencing some of the most violent dreams he had ever had. This wasn't sudden violence. This was premeditated rage, festering, growing darker each day. The details Lewis provided about that fatal argument were horrifying. He described confronting Aniya about the text messages, about the affair he believed she'd been conducting. The argument escalated beyond words, beyond previous violence. Lewis admitted to hitting Aniya in the head to render her unconscious, but he didn't stop. He then slit her throat, ensuring this vibrant young woman would never speak again. Lewis's actions didn't end with murder. What followed demonstrated cold calculation, contradicting any claim of passion. Lewis placed Aniya's body inside a suitcase as if she were discarded luggage. He transported it to Comstock Creek, drawing upon past skills. As a former YMCA lifeguard, Lewis had swimming ability to wade into the creek and bury the suitcase containing Aniya's remains, submerging evidence beneath water. That same day he confessed, Lewis led investigators directly to Aniya's body. The 79-page police report detailed every horrific aspect, from text message discovery to brutal murder to body disposal. Perhaps most disturbing was what Lewis did after confessing. He posted a Facebook apology to Aniya's family and friends, a message he would later delete, as if removing words could undo his actions.
I knew something was wrong.
Tonight, we are hearing from the mother of Aniya Mack, the Western Michigan University student whose boyfriend is accused of killing her, brutally attacking her last month in Kalamazoo.
Meanwhile, Aniya's mother, Loretta Bailey, was living every parent's worst nightmare from Louisiana. Bailey's last conversation with her daughter was by phone on June 24th, the very day Aniya was killed, though Bailey wouldn't know for several agonizing days. When friends began reaching out, when workplace confirmed she hadn't shown up, when Bailey's calls went unanswered, the mother knew something catastrophic had happened.
Never met her daughter's boyfriend, Donnovan Lewis, but she tracked down his phone number.
And I called him to ask him had he heard from her, and he just told me no, like nothing never happened.
The cruelty of that call cannot be overstated. Bailey tracked down Lewis's number and called directly, asking if he'd heard from Aniya. And Lewis, who'd murdered her daughter, slit her throat, hidden her body, simply told her no, like nothing never happened. He maintained this facade as Bailey pressed for information, as a mother's desperate worry came through the line. Bailey later revealed that when she made that call, her daughter had already been deceased for days. Lewis lied without hesitation, without remorse, without basic human decency. While Lewis's guilt was undeniable, Reverend Strickland's role remained shrouded in denial. When the 79-page police report was released August 30th, 2018, it revealed extensive details about the alleged relationship. According to Lewis, Strickland provided Aniya with a cell phone, paid her rent at least once, and let her drive a Chevrolet Malibu registered to his wife. These weren't casual pastoral support. These represented substantial financial investments in maintaining a relationship with a much younger woman.
Well, the Reverend Strickland, he denies the allegations that he had a romantic relationship with Mack. However, in the police report, it does say that Strickland did, however, contact police about the release of a white Chevy Malibu.
Police records confirmed that July 19, 2018, 3 weeks after Aniya's murder, Strickland contacted Kalamazoo Public Safety, inquiring about retrieving the Malibu. He claimed the vehicle belonged to his wife and had been held as evidence. The timing raised questions. Why was the married pastor so concerned about retrieving a vehicle he'd allegedly loaned to a dead choir member? Investigators discovered the vehicle was neither properly insured nor correctly titled, suggesting an arrangement designed to fly under radar. Lewis told investigators Strickland had been stopping by the apartment with increasing frequency to pick up Aniya, fueling his suspicion. According to Lewis, Aniya eventually confessed the Reverend Strickland had threatened her, though specific details remained unclear. These threats allegedly stemmed from Aniya saying she'd tell people about their relationship, suggesting the pastor had substantial motivation for secrecy. When reporters confronted Strickland after the report became public, he categorically denied everything, insisting it was untrue. Strickland pointed out all information came from Lewis, the confessed murderer, mounting an insanity defense. His text to reporters struck a tone many found tone-deaf. He stated he was trying to be sensitive to the fact that Aniya is possibly not the only life that was lost, adding, "This young man deserves for his family to be given some time to grieve." The implication the confessed murderer deserved equal consideration struck many as deeply inappropriate. Loretta Bailey, who'd moved from Louisiana back to Michigan for court proceedings, had her own response about the motive Lewis cited. She told reporters she hadn't seen the reports, but made her position clear. She didn't care what motive was alleged. As far as Bailey was concerned, there was no justification for killing her daughter. Whether Aniya had been involved with Strickland, whether she'd been threatening to expose their relationship, none of it mattered against the fundamental truth that her daughter was brutally murdered.
I forgive him, but he's gonna suffer, and he's still suffering. I just want him to know that he took a big part from me, from my whole family.
As legal machinery ground forward, Donnovan Lewis's path would take unexpected turns before reaching its conclusion. Before facing final sentencing for murder, he'd commit another crime, demonstrating complete disregard for the legal process. While held in Kalamazoo County Jail awaiting trial, Lewis escaped custody in an incident that added additional charges. Attempting to flee while charged with murder spoke volumes about his mindset. On February 11, 2019, Lewis was sentenced for that jail escape, receiving 17 months to 4 years. This was merely prelude. On September 27, 2019, Lewis entered a guilty plea to second-degree murder, finally accepting legal responsibility, though no admission could account for the life he'd stolen. Official sentencing came October 28, 2019, when Lewis received 25 to 40 years. During sentencing, Lewis addressed the court, stating he was beyond sorry, but apologies, however sincere, could never restore what was taken. They couldn't bring back the promising psychology student. They couldn't resurrect the young woman excited about working with autistic children. They couldn't undo the trauma inflicted on a family never to be whole.
It felt good to be able to speak my piece, to see him for the first time ever, and to be able to say that to him.
How do you feel now with the sentence?
I feel good because my sister is okay with the sentence, and so I'm okay with it.
For Aniya's family, sentencing represented something far more complex than closure. Aniya's aunt, speaking after sentencing, described finally speaking her piece directly to Lewis for the first time. She expressed satisfaction primarily because Loretta Bailey, Aniya's mother, was satisfied, and that familial unity mattered more than personal vengeance.
You spoke about forgiveness, not wanting to take pain for pain, but hoping that he can live with what he's done. Can you talk about that?
Well, he have to live with it for the rest of his life, you know, whether he was sincere with what he said in the courtroom or not, he has to live with it. And I hope he can, and I meant that. I haven't forgiven him. My sister, I haven't. And in time, I'm sure I will, but not now.
The aunt's statement revealed the complicated emotional landscape the family was navigating. She acknowledged Lewis would have to live with his actions for the remainder of his life, regardless whether courtroom remorse was genuine. But she was honest. She hadn't forgiven him. Neither had her sister. She expressed hope that perhaps one day forgiveness might come, but emphasized now wasn't that time. They weren't ready.
And what my sister stated in her statement about Christmas being her favorite time of the year, she made sure we all got together. And ironically, she's not here anymore, but because of that, we are even closer now because of her. So.
The trauma extended beyond emotion. Loretta Bailey told reporters Aniya's brutal injuries forced a closed coffin funeral, denying her the ability to see her daughter one final time, to have that last visual memory. The violence Lewis inflicted stole not just Aniya's life, but her family's ability to properly view and grieve her remains. This additional cruelty compounded an incomprehensible loss. While Lewis accepted responsibility and faced significant prison time, Reverend Strickland faced no charges related to Aniya's death. His denial stood unchallenged in the immediate aftermath. But revelations about Strickland's behavior would emerge that cast his denials in different light and raised troubling questions about what really transpired. In 2020, Strickland was charged with 11 serious felonies, including child sexual assault and human trafficking. The charges stemmed from allegations that in 2018, the same year Aniya was murdered, Strickland paid teenage boys to participate in sex acts with his wife inside their home. Each charge carried potential sentences of 15 to 20 years. The man who'd presented himself as a community pillar, who'd led congregations and presided over the NAACP, stood accused of using his position to sexually exploit vulnerable young people. Through plea negotiations, 10 of those 11 charges were dropped. All charges against his wife for alleged involvement were dismissed. On January 30th, 2023, Strickland was sentenced to just 1 year after pleading guilty to one felony count of facilitation of travel services for prostitution.
The presiding judge, Paul J. Breitenstein, described Strickland's actions as being for his own warped sexual pleasure. The plea deal allowed Strickland to avoid registering as a sex offender and included no probation requirements. Even while accepting the plea, Strickland maintained innocence, claiming the plea was in his wife and 9 children's best interest. He portrayed himself as a victim of prosecutorial overreach, someone sacrificing himself to protect family from trial ordeal. But Strickland's legal troubles didn't end with his January 2024 release. In March 2025, Strickland and Deacon Armand Barnes were charged with embezzlement of nearly $90,000 from Galilee Missionary Baptist Church in Mount Olive, Mississippi, a congregation Strickland joined after relocating following his Michigan jail sentence. Each faces 1 count of embezzlement over $500, with bonds set at $5,000. When contacted about these charges, Strickland again denied any wrongdoing, maintaining the same innocence posture adopted throughout every legal challenge. The pattern was unmistakable: allegations of misconduct, categorical denials, and consistent portrayal as someone being unfairly targeted rather than someone whose behavior warranted scrutiny.
Is that Strickland is capable of exploiting young people for his own gratification, of using religious authority to manipulate and control, of enriching himself through deception. Given this pattern, given what we now know about his character, the question becomes not whether Lewis was telling the truth about the affair, but rather how anyone could have ever doubted it. Aniya Mack deserves so much better. She deserved better than a violent boyfriend who couldn't control his rage. She deserved better than a pastor who, by all available evidence, exploited her trust and church involvement for his own purposes. And she deserves for her story to be remembered not just as a cautionary tale about domestic violence, but as a stark reminder of how predatory individuals in power positions can destroy lives without ever facing full accountability for their actions. If you are experiencing this or any form of abuse, please reach out to the necessary authority. There are some helplines in the video description. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this.